Podcast where we take it beyond the barbell. I'm your host, Mo Dingo, and across the table from me is the Brofessor. What's up, man?
I mean, I do drop knowledge bombs, Mo. Hey, like, that's a good one. So I was just telling them that you were going to be on my hit list. Now we're getting cool now because
a lot. They're pretty dope.
Yeah,
they took a lot of.
And then what was the Zeus one?
Oh, Brosidon.
Yeah.
I forgot the King of the Broshin. I forgot to add that part to it.
Brosidon, that's pretty sick, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get that tattooed on my neck.
King of Aquatic Gains.
That's a long tattoo.
Right.
I gotta.
And then I think the other ones I used were Bropeshi. Brocephus.
There you go, Sebastian.
Sebastian. That was his favorite. As always. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say he's Colombian. We were talking about that last night. I know. But he was telling us a story that one of his really good friends was asking him stuff about Tijuana. He's like,
dude, I'm Colombian.
Yeah. And he's like, this guy told me he knew I was from Colombia. He knows my mom. He knows my family. He knows where I'm from. But he's asking me stuff about Tijuana, like about getting surgery.
Yeah. Anything south of San Diego, I think, is just considered Mexico.
Yeah. Well, he was like, and I've never been to Mexico.
Yeah, I've never been to Tijuana.
As always, thank you for the likes, shares. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review on Facebook and or iTunes.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. Feel free to
Anytime
do all
you
that.
give someone an or Mo, they don't do either.
Okay, so do both.
Sort of like when I say, Mo, leave me a review for our gym, or I'm going to throw myself off a cliff.
You're going to throw yourself off the loft.
No, it's not high enough.
But we have got some more reach when it comes to world domination.
Let's talk about regional. What's up?
Wyoming? No, Wyoming.
Wyoming. That's it, man.
We're going to have to make a road trip.
The pigeon hasn't reached there yet.
No, not yet. So we added Cyprus, Afghanistan, Hong Kong, and Turkey, which brings us up to 42 countries. And Podbean, they started expanding some analytics data on Canada, and Alberta is leading the way when it comes to Canada. So I think it's a tie between Canada and Germany as far as our overseas reach. Canada, Germany, and UK. So that's pretty solid.
Well, Meg and Blake, you better make a bigger imprint before you move back here so we don't lose our German connections.
And as always, don't forget to hit up our sponsor, 75 Clothing, and use the code OneMoreRep so that way you get free shipping, and because they are making badass gear for your badass ventures. And when you're tagging all of us in your social media, use that hashtag OneMoreRepFam or OMRFam, as well as World Domination. But go ahead.
I would say, man, you got it down pat, because every time you try to read that their quote, you
I
mess
screw it up. If I memorize
Wally's
it.
here, and now it's like, were you saying it here on the way in the car? Like you just kept reciting it?
Yeah, I kept reciting it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to get you Wyoming. I know somebody in Wyoming.
We know people who know people in Wyoming. They just don't want to listen to us.
Yeah.
We're going to hold Wally to that.
Yeah. So that third voice you hear with us today is Wally Judy. He is the owner, founder, CEO,
janitor.
HMFIC of 75 Clothing, and our sponsor. So, Wally, thanks for joining us, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Glad you're here. Came up Friday?
Friday night, yeah.
For to support Brody's comp that we had here yesterday. How'd the comp go, bro?
Good. Ran on time.
Ran on time? Yeah, it did.
Yeah, we finished awards right at 6:55. Or whatever, 5:55. Whatever.
There's an hour difference.
It was on time.
Yeah, definitely on time.
No one got hurt.
No one got hurt. Everyone had a good time. A lot of
puking. This was our most puking event, and
really?
It wasn't even that hot. Like, yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, right out the back door. I counted 6. At least once. There's some that were multiple. We'll just give them one.
Do you keep like tally marks in your office?
No, but it's just funny. Like, I've never puked in a workout, so I don't. Sebastian is saying, I never puked either, but maybe I just don't go hard enough. I'm like, nah, you go hard, man. It's just I don't know. You can't eat Chipotle and then do my comps. I'm just saying.
No, you can't. Not at all.
Or eat anything really.
So Wally.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, first of all.
Oh, I enjoyed
Thanks for setting up yesterday. Gave a lot of our local listeners the opportunity to buy some gear and actually meet you up close and personal. So, and we know it takes a lot of energy and effort to get up here, so we truly do appreciate you coming up here.
I love it.
And we also appreciate you being our sponsor. It means a lot to us. And also the shirts. He's the one responsible for getting those out to you. And we now have ladies' tanks available if you are interested in those.
I'm just saying, I'm the only one not in the freaking picture.
Who
Got
else?
Mo, got Jenna. Where's Bro?
Oh,
I better be getting.
You're the tank top picture?
I better be getting my own picture.
Yeah, we got one this morning because we're gonna get them online this week.
Well, Bro can do the socks.
With my pasty ass legs, like, come on, you gotta get some of these with your skin, your
My
your
mocha
Pac-
complexion.
your Pacific.
Yeah, Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Wally, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? Who is
He's Wally.
Who is
Mo.
Wally?
I'm Wally. I'm not Jordy. Judy. Actually, I grew up 45 minutes away from here, good old Ohio. So
That's
it's
right.
kind of back home.
in Springfield or?
Actually in Urbana.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
It's
yep.
just like Tennessee, isn't it?
Not really,
Oh.
but it's close. It's
Damn it.
cooler. It's nice and cool up here. I'll say that. But no, I went to West Liberty Salem High School, which
Okay.
is dinky, tiny. But I got bored around here.
Mhm.
There's nothing but like farm or factory. I grew up on a farm and knew I didn't want to do that.
Mhm.
So the factory thing didn't work. So I decided to join the military. Wanted to see the world. So I got in basic training.
Mm-hmm. Which
Good
branch
old-
did you join?
Good old Air Force.
There you go.
I mean, you can't
You can't
not
go wrong
join
with the Air Force,
when
yeah.
you got right pat down here.
Yeah. Well, you'd be amazed. There's a lot of people that go other directions. Don't know why.
Yeah, I don't
I had
either.
I had one friend say, "Well, I didn't join the Air Force because the recruiter was never in his office." I was like, "That should have been your first indication."
He's
To
working.
Yeah, to join.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you get around everybody else in the other branches, and they're kind of like, they start making fun of you because of the Air Force.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the chair.
The chair force, yeah.
Blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you don't be mad because I scored high enough on the ASVAB. I had a choice. Sorry, but no. So I went in the military. I went in the recruiter's office, and of course and this is the funny part of the story is they asked me what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
I didn't really have a clue, so I was always told to go in guaranteed. So they offered me a job being the boom operator on a refueler.
Okay. So that's the guy that lays in the back of the jet that refuels
Yeah.
other jets, and he gets to play like Nintendo as he
Mhm,
guides the fuel pump into the aircraft that's receiving fuel.
Yeah, and then there was some job working in the AWACS.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I really don't want to fly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're
That'd
like,
be cool doing the AWACS.
well, they're like, this is the Air Force, right? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm not a really good swimmer, so I'm not going to join the Navy either. So I looked over, I saw a little silhouette of a security police at the time
Mhm.
with a dog, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I love animals. So I was like, and they're like, well, we can guarantee you security.
Mhm.
But can't guarantee you the dog thing. You'll have to work that out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big flip. You go from AWACS and
Into-
boom operator
To
for-
dog handler.
to dog handler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like opposite spectrums.
Yeah. So I ended up going, getting into the dog program and spent the glorious 9 months down in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
But
Where you
then-
can experience all 4 seasons in 1 week.
Yes, you can. You can, and a bunch of different wildlife while you're out there as well. Nice little boars and everything else. So.
Yeah, Javelina's up at Camp Bullis just running wild.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a little crazy. So of course, then I got to experience wonderful Fort Dix, which
Mhm.
we had talked about that
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, glad I didn't join the Army.
Yeah, that's Fort Dix. That was the opportunity for the Air Force to learn that you were glad you joined the Air Force and not the Army.
Yes, yeah, because you're going through with all the Army.
Yeah, the 11,
cadre,
the
everybody.
ground pounders, the 11 Bravos. So, yeah.
out there digging foxholes. Not a whole lot.
Sorry,
of fun.
Tony.
So then I got stationed in Italy.
At Albiano or
yeah,
okay.
Albiano. Yeah, really tough.
Yeah, tough duty there.
Tough. But of course, we were back in there. There was a country used to be called Yugoslavia
Mhm.
for all the really young listeners. But we were there during their little civil war.
Okay.
So our nice little base turned into like the headquarters for Europe.
Yeah, because they were bringing in aircraft from other
Every-
bases and launching aircraft over there constantly.
Everything there. So, but I did my 4 years, and couldn't handle the politics. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'm good. I'm done. So, but while I was over there, I met my wife. She's from Tennessee, which is why we live in Tennessee.
Mhm.
She was also in the Air Force,
Okay.
so she was supply. So really not that exciting.
Mhm.
But we got married while we were over there. Ended up moving back, and both of us got out, and the rest is history.
So
50 years later. No.
So at what point did you start? When did you decide to open up the clothing company?
Well, what it was is like I had done screen printing, art,
Mhm.
things like that. It was just kind of a fun hobby. So we'd always go to this local bar, and there was a CrossFit.
Where most good ideas begin.
It really is. That's where
Just saying, podcast.
awesome business ideas always start.
I want to tell you a quick story, real quick. Interrupt. Talking about that, the design of the B-52 bomber
Mhm.
was done at a bar in Fairborn
Really?
by two or three engineers sitting in a bar, and they drew it
On a napkin
on
or
a
something?
napkin.
Nice.
Really?
Yep.
That's
Pretty
amazing.
So I'm on my way to that.
Right. One of the best bombers ever made in the history of our Air Force. And then they do it on a napkin over drinks.
The aircraft is twice as old as the pilots flying it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
those are old.
some pilots' dads have flown
Have
the
flown it,
same
yep.
aircraft.
Yep, that's pretty crazy.
It's a little scary too.
True.
But the whole company idea. Somebody walked in from a local CrossFit. I didn't do CrossFit. It was kind of interesting to me at the time.
Mhm.
But they walk in with a Red Friday shirt, and I was kind of like, that's okay. And they knew that I did that,
Mhm.
and they were like, well, make one better.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, not a problem. I'll do it. So a week later, I had a new design, did it on a shirt, brought
Mhm.
it. They loved it. People at the bar started buying them.
Mhm.
So we'd show up there. And for anybody that doesn't know, the Red Friday is, remember everyone deployed.
Mhm.
We're red on Fridays. So the whole bar started doing it.
Oh,
And
nice.
We were kind of like,
What's the name of the bar?
it's non-existent now.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. It was really cool. It's called Vic's. So it was really cool.
Damn it, Vic.
I know it. Couldn't keep it going. But so we did a couple more shirts and kind of got in with a little bit of the CrossFit scene.
Which is a good market to get into if you're a T-shirt company.
Yeah,
It's a very good
CrossFitters
market.
like T-shirts.
Everybody needs shirts. So we ended up doing a competition setup, a really small setup, like
Mhm.
maybe 4 shirts
Mhm.
at the CrossFit that was right there. And then, of course, you start doing it, and then people run into you, like I ran into you all.
Mhm.
They're like, "Oh, hey, we have a comp coming up. Do you want to come to ours?" And and this was in Nashville.
Mhm.
So I'm like, "Oh boy, do I really want to do that?" So I was like, why not?" So I did it, did well there, and then it's just grown from there. Once you go one place, you meet people, you meet
Mhm.
more people, and you're all over the place. And the next thing we know, we're up here, we're Pensacola, Florida. We go over to Myrtle Beach, everywhere in between there.
Mhm.
So it's grown. I try to keep it scaled back a little bit because I don't want it to get out of hand.
Mhm.
To where it's
Maintain that quality
to where
control.
it's too much that I could even handle. So
Do you want to get that big?
eventually, but I want to take my time.
And scale it
wanna-
appropriately.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
want to jump into it where I'm just like, drowning.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's when people start going out of business, quality goes down, and you don't. I like the personal
Connections.
connections to
The
everybody.
relationships, yeah.
Like yesterday, it's like I enjoyed meeting everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to watch a lot of the competition, but when people come out and they talk and, it's just getting to know people one-on-one,
Mhm.
and then people come up to you, oh, yeah, I know you. I'm like, well, great.
So you said that you weren't a CrossFitter before you got
I
into
was
this
not.
business.
I was not.
So at what point did you make that transition, or what made you transition?
Seeing how fit everybody was.
Okay.
And I, of course, I went to the whole Globo gym thing, and I was like, well, I could do the CrossFit stuff here and do that. And then
Right.
finally I'm like, yeah, no,
You can't.
I can't. I don't know enough about it. So I ended up going, the thing was I ended up doing shirts for a CrossFit in Knoxville in exchange for
Okay.
going there.
Oh, okay.
So, and it worked out well. You know,
Yeah.
they made money, and I got to work out, and it was all good. And so I started getting in there, and the first workout was, I mean, it was like banded pull-ups and
Mm-hmm.
you know, squats and everything, and I was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why am I dead doing this?
I got a damn band.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there
What was
some-
your impression? Because I get a lot of I talk about this with people who join our gym. Women are the most timid to try CrossFit, but they end up becoming our most loyal members and most
Mhm.
dedicated. You get guys to come in, and they would be the first ones to kind of check out because of ego,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
right? They don't like that sensation of not performing well,
Or seeing
getting
a female who's
female
like,
lift more than
120
them.
pounds.
Mhm.
Yep.
or other guys, especially, I would say, that are in there that maybe don't look as fit as them, that are running them into the ground because
Mhm.
they're 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't handle that very well. What was your impression as a male athlete joining the gym? Like,
Well, I mean, it's not fun getting outlifted. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and you run and you're getting smoked by these people, but
Mhm.
it's
I guess what brought you back, and what didn't, that sensation of getting
Beat, yeah.
beat down and beat,
Mhm.
and like, even though it's new and interesting, guys tend to, like I said, they don't handle it very well,
Mhm.
adversity in that aspect.
Mhm.
I mean, it was the challenge
Okay.
because it did hurt me, and I thought how crazy it was that I was like, I'm that out of shape that I can't do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, just to me personally, I've got to get better at this. This is just crazy that I'm there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because
Yeah.
I had run a marathon. I did mountain biking a ton. I rode road bikes. I mean, I did centuries. Went to Tahoe and did a road bike century,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can't do this.
So you're an athlete.
I mean,
You
I
just
was
weren't a CrossFit athlete.
I was active. Let's call it
Okay.
that. I mean, if you look at me, I'm not an athlete.
Well, I have this discussion all the time, because when I used to fight and do jiu-jitsu, if I was to start doing jiu-jitsu again, I would be crushed,
Mhm.
cardio-wise.
Yeah, same
Going against someone who knew jiu-jitsu. So getting mat time, you have to get mat time. So
Yeah.
I've seen very in shape, fit people come into CrossFit, and the most basic workout buries them because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not in CrossFit shape,
Mhm.
right? And so I think that does factor in. So you can be really fit, but you're not in
And still be
CrossFit.
challenged, yeah.
I mean, you know, because the CrossFit is. I mean, it's an all body thing.
Yep.
You know, cycling or running, it's your lungs and your legs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's way different. But that was the challenge, that I was that bad at it, that I wanted to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, where I went, there were a bunch of college kids. And
Okay.
those kids were like
Right.
just muscle it up and just strong as could be.
Mhm.
So that was kind of a driving force. I wanted to try to catch them.
Okay. You had a rabbit to chase. Yeah.
Didn't really happen, but
Yeah, I get
I mean,
it.
it's
You're
that
if you're
goal.
competitive in the
Mhm.
aspect of, yeah, it gives you something to do.
To
and-
aspire to.
Yeah.
And I'd see that's probably when we get guys in here, and I always ask this because I love information, but that's usually what people say. They like to be challenged. They didn't like how it made them feel, as far
Yeah.
as
That first time
they
out.
felt like they were incapable almost
Mhm. Oh,
of
yeah.
doing this, and so that's what keeps them coming back. Obviously, it gets boring in the Globo Gym because there's no communication, and
Uh-huh.
you're doing the same thing. It's not very it's not programmed appropriately,
Right.
so you don't get the same stimulus. You
Yeah.
get bored with it, and so that's another huge one. But CrossFit definitely is.
I mean, that I enjoy that the most because I'm like, oh, what are we doing today?
Mm.
You know, it's like hopefully it's,
Well, in the word that you just used there is we.
yeah.
Whereas
right,
when
it
I
is.
was a gym rat, I got my my muscle magazine and like, oh, someone has a new bicep workout, so let me do
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I didn't have to worry about programming when it came to CrossFit.
Mm.
You just come in and then like it's that we mentality. Hey, what are we doing today?
Mhm.
Not what workout am I doing today?
Right. And it's, of course, I will look at the whiteboard on there because just for me, because I want to know where I kind of stand. It's not
Mhm.
really a competition type thing with me, but I want to see how out of shape I am.
I mean, yeah, and I think that's what's kind of cool. If you get the right gym atmosphere, right? And because this isn't every gym, there's some douchebags that all they care about is beating whoever's there, and then they'll rep shaving. We'll talk. They'll do everything to beat that person,
to be on top,
and be on top of the Wi-Fi, whatever. But when you get a good gym atmosphere, it's competitive in the most healthy way, meaning we can lump certain people together in groups because of their fitness level and where they're at, and having an opportunity to be like to not drop the bar and beat them by one. And be like, hey man, what's up? Or don't say anything and let them check it. But I think that's what's cool is if you have the right atmosphere in the right gym, that makes it even better because you do get to push each other. You want them still to succeed just as much as you'd want to, but you also get to feel good when you give it your all. Sort of like Pat did yesterday, right? So the very last workout, he had finished it in 2 seconds. Only RX Team 2 finished that workout. Yeah. And it was all on his shoulders, and he could have given up easy. No one would have said anything. But
yeah, everybody would have like, damn, he almost got there, and everybody would have been cool with it.
Yeah.
But he dug deep.
Yeah.
And just seeing the rest of his team like, on their knees and screaming at him, just telling him just to pick the bar up.
You have to see the picture Jenna got. It was probably one of the most epic pictures. Unless I took it, it would have been even better. But yeah, it was probably, she captured one of the most unbelievable images I've probably seen. Here it is. Check it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, but and seconds before that, that's Pat's wife, and when I think he's got like 2 reps left, and she realizes that he's got the ability to finish it because he's got plenty of time, and she's like on her knees, and just like the look on her face was like almost equated to like seeing my kid take his first steps. Like she was so proud of him that he was going to push through it, and I was like, I wanted to go grab my phone and take a picture of it, but I didn't want to miss seeing that because it was just such a powerful moment with that family. Not them as husband and wife, but that family as a team as well.
Yeah, and it goes even deeper because a lot of people don't know, like, he's just now had to sacrifice. He always works out at 5:30 p.m., but he's had to completely change his schedule.
To work out with his team?
No. He has to work out at 5:30 a.m. now.
Oh.
And so because of school and taking responsibilities at home, so his complete, that's a big flip from 5:30 p to 5:30 a. And to get up early and do that and just to get it in, that's a sacrifice. I'm going to say it was probably why he felt the way he did, and then why Gina did. People don't realize the sacrifice people make to stay fit.
Yeah, and another driving force is having a 16-year-old that will bury you.
And let you know about it.
And then talk smack afterwards.
Yeah. Well, you're grounded. So go talk smack again.
Yeah, he like the other day, he outlifted me by, it was probably 30, 40 pounds. He hit 245 for a squat clean. And yeah, it's like you just...
Yeah, I have, and I had that kind of same motivating factor. I have a sophomore in college who plays Division III football, and he might be able to like lift more, like, static lifts, but I'm still able to put him in the ground when it comes to a WOD.
Yeah, well, I can't even do that. He's a tall, lanky, 170-pound 16-year-old.
Yeah,
kid.
he's getting close, and it's not going to be much longer before I can't beat him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, it's because you keep on those vision quests, Mo. Like you gotta stop disappearing. Like it's like crazy.
I'm trying to find ways to beat him. That's why I need to go. I need to go on those walkabouts.
Mo's phone is in and out of service when he's going through the mountains of the Rockies, just trying to find, meaning of life after the Air Force.
Still struggling. You're probably struggling. Yeah, you figured it out pretty quick. It's still going to take me some time.
Yeah, he was at a freaking bar and seeing a T-shirt, and now he has a freaking awesome business.
Yeah, it took me 4 years to figure out I was getting out.
So one of the things you mentioned was challenges that you faced, in the military and even in the gym. But from the business aspect, what were some of the challenges you faced in the beginning that you weren't prepared for, or that you didn't even take into consideration?
Money. Money's a big one.
Which is tough. We talked, right? His business is different than my business model.
It is, yeah.
He has a lot of his upfront cost is very substantial.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Not just printing press, but product.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to restock everything all the time. And a big challenge is like the shirts aren't, it's up to me to do it. Like the shorts, I don't do those. I don't know how to sew. So, finding companies that will make them for you, getting a design that you want on them, it's hard. Plus, when you go to different parts of the country, there's different things that they like. It's like yours more conservative, and then there's more outlandish. So you go to Florida, I mean, you can
Bro tanks,
yeah,
just so they can take them off.
Yeah.
yeah. But that and just time. I mean, of course, I have a family. I have 2 boys, wife, of course. A house you have to keep pay for. 16-year-old, you've got another vehicle, more insurance, all that other stuff. So it's hard to balance everything, and I feel like I work a lot. Like they've been on vacation without me because I'm working. They're getting ready to go on a cruise without me because I'm working. And not that I really enjoy a cruise, but there's that.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say, time is something that you can always invest. Like if he works hard. We've talked about in the podcast. Like he's very driven, and obviously Joe, even though he has a local home, even if he didn't have a house here, I assume he would still probably have come up. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
So just by knowing him in that drive, that's crazy. Like so sacrificing time, that's just part of my opinion. If you want your business to do well, that's just the game of it. Money's tough. Especially if you have upfront costs. Where are you going to get it? How much? If you borrow too much, then your business dies, right? If you purchase too much and you don't sell it,
it's tough.
You're literally sitting on money, and it's in
that you can't move,
and it's in a T-shirt,
Yeah.
and they're not selling. That's forecasting and things like that is very tough, and I assume that's a huge learning curve. In CrossFit, you have a building, you have your equipment, so it's a little bit different. There's an investment, but it's not. I don't minus rent. Okay, really. I mean, I'm sitting on equipment, but literally it's all paid for, so it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. Once you buy a barbell, you don't need an athlete to pick it up so many times in order for you to get your money back.
Right.
Yeah, because that's just going to make you buy a new one. You're going to wear it out.
Right. Yeah. So.
But yeah, it is. I mean, and that's the one thing I have is time. I'm not a bunch of spare time, but it's the free thing that you have that you can just put into it. And my wife works a lot. I mean, she has a regular job. Plus, she's the one that takes care of like the shipping, takes care of most of the financial stuff. So whereas I'm trying to keep up with, doing like, independent gyms, shirts, all these boxes everywhere I do, competition shirts, plus keeping my inventory up and my online store going. So it's a lot of time.
And probably I would venture to guess that your competitive nature helps you stay ahead of the game.
It does. Yeah, it does.
So how is competing in the retail space different than competing in the gym? Or is it similar?
It's pretty similar.
Okay.
If we go to an event and we see, of course, there's always clothing companies at events, 2 or 3, maybe more. Of course, you kind of look, you see what they're doing, try to gauge on what they have coming in, how much people they have visiting their little spot. But it does drive you to do that. I mean, and of course you see it online, you see it everywhere, because like our Instagram, you have, people will tag us in it, and then they're also tagging these other companies, so you see it all the time. Social media is just, you see everything. So that really drives me to keep it up and keep going, racking my brain to come up with a new design for a shirt. What colors do I use, this, that. So,
and I would say the design's pretty tough because, in my opinion, as a consumer, you can get shirts that are too busy, or people trying to do too much, or they stop. They get married to their originals, and they're afraid to branch out.
They stay in that template the whole time.
And then guess what? Your spark's gone, right? It's gone. Like, you spark something with a cool shirt. Like, just yesterday, I was looking at some of the shirts that I hadn't seen, and I was like, shit, I gotta have that one. And,
Yeah.
That one's sick too, right? Because people get so married to it, and they're afraid because they've had success. They don't want to take that next step and put something new out there, and then branch off that, and then branch off that. And I think that can slow the business down way.
Well, and the
too
thing
much.
is too, and this is what my wife doesn't like, is I'm never satisfied, and she's always telling me that you're never satisfied with anything, and I'm like, well, if I'm satisfied,
You'll stop.
then it's just stagnant. You know, I mean, I'm never satisfied a lot, just not business, but I'm like, you know, CrossFit. I always want to get. Like, I started doing 2 a days, try to keep up with the 16-year-old. But you know, it's just I'm never satisfied. I always got to be doing something else, or you know, another drive to do. I got to come up with 3 more shirts. I've got to do this. You know, it's tough, but
It's tough if you don't love it.
right.
So loving it allows that satisfaction, or you being satisfied and like, or unsatisfied, I should say. So it just, man, I have the same as him, and we're 2 different people. I'm never satisfied. I'll never be satisfied. And as soon as I'm satisfied, the business dies. That's just the way it is, because you can never be satisfied and kick back and just chill, because then that next person's passing you. And then you're losing a step, and then your members see it, and then you stop doing the little things. And I have a huge thing, like we talk in school, I could give 2 shits about being attention to detail.
Right.
Okay. Just the way it is. It was boring to me.
Yeah.
But all the small little things add up to be big things. So everybody always focuses on the huge, like Smash Fest, right? All my events, you could say, well, focus on the end result, the X money. But I don't. I focus on all the small things, which then equates to the end picture. And then I don't even think about the end game. It's all my little things that I do, and that's in the gym, how I run the gym, and everything, programming, everything, all the little things add up to be the end game. But that's, everybody always focuses on the end game, but they don't know how to get there because they don't focus on the little stuff.
On the steps to get from A to Z. And I think most of us who are listening have been involved with competitions where you've been there and you're like, man, this isn't the most awesome comp. And I bet you those people that were running those were the ones that were focusing on the end result and not worried about
how much money can I make,
the nickel and dime stuff, you know, as far as like, you know, starting on time, you know, getting equipment, you know, intelligently programming so that way equipment transitions are smooth, you know, and making sure that, you know, if you have resource limitations that you go and access those resources. Or like yesterday, we had weather, you know, and you got proactive with that about 3 days out and said, okay, we're just changing this because we're not even going to risk it, you know, because those little details are important to you.
Yeah,
Well, and that's us too. I mean, it's what I do is, and my wife is really good at this too, is what would we want from a company?
Absolutely.
When we would order a shirt, you know, what would we want? You know, that's why everything we do is she handwrites a thank you note.
And I want to let you know. I want to let you know. That's the first thing one of my members told me. They said the shirt's awesome, but the handwritten note that they actually wrote meant more.
Yeah, and that's my wife. It's totally her.
That's sitting on my refrigerator from the stuff that me and my wife ordered a few weeks ago.
So I mean, that's what we do. It's those little things that make the impact.
Even through experiences that aren't considered good or whatever, if you didn't love the military, it doesn't mean you can't take away things to propel you in life. There's so many things that I'm a huge advocate. I'm going to see what I like. I'm going to take that and discard 99% of it. It's just because it's just the reality. Because people can do that with whatever I do. I mean, I don't care. Like, if you like something we do, then do it. Like,
hack it, take it. Yeah.
Put your own spin on it. But you know, I'm not going to hold your hand and teach you and do everything for you, because no one did that for me. They'd say, hey, this is a direction. You want to do it, do it.
Yeah. But in the military, I mean, it taught me a lot. I did love the military while I was in. It was just those little things that I didn't care for. And, you know, I'd signed up for 4, and it was just kind of like, But, you know, it's like, you know, and then we were talking about the Red Friday shirts earlier, how that actually started too was before we even did them, we put together care packages, and we sent them overseas. We got with this group. It's called HB Care Packages.
Would you explain that for some people?
Yeah, and they would. We got involved with them. What they do is they pair you with someone that's deployed. For us, we always wanted to be paired with the K9 teams, since that's what I did in the military, and so we would get, you know, they'd send us this is the person you need to send it to. Here's a list of what they requested. So we would go shop, like our whole family would go shop. We get what they wanted, and then we get some extra stuff, throw it in there. I mean, treats for the dogs, toys for the dogs, and stuff for the handlers. And we would send it over there. And then when we started the Red Friday shirts, we started taking money made from that and putting the care package together and shipping them overseas. And we still do that. But they've gotten to the point to where they can take a monetary donation now. So what we do is we just send the money straight to them, and they put it together for us.
Now, the name 7'5" Clothing, where does that come from?
Of course, when we started it, we wanted something military because we're both, veterans, but we didn't want to go over the top. So we looked, and we were looking around, and, of course, the military, and I always love getting any Marine or Army person on this. It's like, when did the military start? They get a blank stare. And I'm like, you should have learned this.
In boot camp.
Your birthday is that year. So it came from 1775, which obviously was the year that the military started because we had to have a military before we could fight for our independence. So we took the 7'5" off of that. And we did have to use the Army chevrons because the Air Force just wasn't that
Doesn't
cool
look right,
looking.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
But we get confused. There's a 75th Ranger Battalion. And people are always like, "Oh, are you a Ranger?"
No, not so much.
No, not close.
I was just
Not even
regular
close.
forces.
Yeah. I had a dog. There's that. That's about the extent of what it is.
That's cool because I was wondering what the name was. That's pretty
And
cool.
how did you not know?
I didn't know. I mean, obviously. Honestly, I didn't know. That's pretty cool because I love history, but it's crazy. And 1 year later, we fight for our independence.
Right.
So 1 year we make the military, and then we gain our independence the next year. That shows you how fucking awesome we are as a country. That's all we need is a year.
We will invade you on Christmas Eve in the snow.
That's right.
We don't
With
care.
a 1 year old army, literally. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
You want to add anything? And he actually stops doing it now. 'Cause I usually tack on about 15 more minutes of editing for Mo. Like, you know what, Mo? Actually, yeah, there's that one thing I was just thinking about like 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, when I took a dump before I came up here, I was thinking about something,
Yeah, that's true.
and now I want to bring it up.
Dude, when I take a dump or I'm in the shower, my best ideas. I'm telling you, where do you get your ideas? Honestly, where's your creative? Like, what? For me, maybe I'm just freaking weird, but I find myself like unable to relax and let my brain go. But shower when I'm taking a crap, that's my two things. But more the shower. I think the shower is definitely the best because I like long showers, really hot, and I can literally just chill. And literally, I'll come out of the shower. I'll have a whole competition programmed. I'm not kidding. I will literally.
Yeah, you just loosely write it out. Yeah.
Ride it in soap on the side of the
I
shower.
just put it in my head, and then as soon as I get out, I'll literally go straight to my phone and put the stuff in.
Yeah, it's. They'll hit me anytime.
Do you get it driving?
Shower or whatever. Oh yeah, I'll
drive because you drive a lot.
And I'll just see something, a billboard or something on the side of the road, and I'm like, it's a loose idea. But then you're like, oh, I could do something with that and take it this direction.
You can see way too edgy or
There's some that are
just way out there.
Push it.
I would never wear stuff that Castro wears, who represents CrossFit. Well, maybe I don't know if he does anymore. Greg Glassman bitch slapped him, and hope you're listening, Dave. And are you gonna be mad Brooks not gonna be at regionals this year? I'm just asking. Anyways,
just for a friend.
Yeah, just for a friend. Hey, Brooke, #unblockbro. So, anyway, so I hate the very outlandish stuff, even though I cuss a lot, and even though Gina Cron put the smackdown on me and Mo for cussing too much on here.
Yeah, yes, she did.
And I think designs are, yours is unique, in all honesty, and I love that you are unique amongst all the other brands that I see out there. And I'm not just saying that, I really don't, because I look at stuff. I don't own one Rogue t-shirt. I don't just buy t-shirts.
Yeah.
Right? And I did buy the hell out of yours.
I don't know, we try to put a military flair to some of it without being totally military. There's some companies out there that's just in your face. You know,
Yeah.
and-
You civilian can't buy this.
right.
Yeah.
And it's just it's kind of like I guess a military light type
Okay.
thing. I mean,
Okay.
because you know,
Patriotic, but not in your
over
face.
The top.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like we have the Freedom Barbell and Beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it has an eagle on it with a big old mug of beer and barbells. I mean, it's simple, but it's still patriotic. It's in there.
I guess that's where I keep struggling with. Here, I'm talking out loud about our podcast on
the
podcast. Is we can put as much as we want out there,
Mhm.
but you have images,
Right.
social media.
Mhm.
We got to get actual people to listen. Like,
Mhm.
so I'm.
We have to get people to commit, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour of their day or parts of their day.
Well,
You
and
know?
it's I mean, social media is huge.
Hmm.
Of course, we're always putting something out there. Just getting in front of the people's eyes, and once they see it, then they'll go. And what helps us too, and it's different than the podcast, is everywhere we go. Because I like to talk to people when we're here, there, everywhere, and that helps us a lot. Podcast wise, you just gotta get it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess it's a grind. I mean, it's
Well, and the challenging piece from the podcast perspective is that you can go and you can look up data on retail sales. With
Right.
the podcasting space, everybody's so cryptic about releasing their information and algorithms because they don't want people to hack it.
Right.
So a lot of the information that we come up with is just derivative. Like I have to look at the numbers and say, okay, well, in 24 hours we have this much. In a week we have this much. In a month we have this much, and kind of figure out. Okay, well, I mean, we know we're growing. I mean, that's about the only thing we can figure
Mo
out.
tells me, I say, so what's that mean, Mo? He's like, I don't know.
yeah. A lot of times we'll have these discussions about numbers, and he's like, "Yeah, no, that's exactly what happens."
The
He's like, "I
numbers-
don't know what that means."
Yeah.
If the numbers
Yeah.
are bigger, it's gotta
Yeah,
be good.
and that's the only thing we know, and we don't. There's just so much unknowns, and that's the challenge that we have here on the show.
Well,
So-
and that's the same thing too.
Yeah.
It's like I know some other shirt companies, clothing companies, and it's like you're friends and you talk, but going back to the sharing information,
You only share so much.
right?
Yeah.
And but which I'm not going to share a bunch of stuff,
can't.
how I do it or how I do things or
Mhm.
this, because that's my edge.
And that's what I get hung up on this. For a long time, people were like, well, why don't you post your programming, or what are you doing, or why don't you share it? Like, it doesn't matter because, Jason Kleepa once said, I can give everybody my programming, but they won't go as hard as I do. But he also said that there's not going to be there's no coach that's going to coach a games athlete that hasn't went to games. Same guy. So it doesn't make sense. He's saying they don't have the experience it takes as a coach to coach someone that is in games or at games without ever experiencing the games. So he says two really weird things, and he's people look up to him in the business side and the CrossFit side. So it's like, well, I don't post my stuff because I'm doing something that you have no idea what the hell you're doing. So I invest my time. I'll protect, I guess. I'll give you, like a guy I met with just 2 weeks ago, about when starting a gym. I gave him all sorts of information, but I'm not going to say, here's
Right.
my time invested, what I really focus on. And people are like, well, programming is just programming. I'm like, well, you're dumb, because it's not just because I know it changes the culture of the gym. It changes the direction of the gym. Your gym becomes accustomed to a certain thing, and what we're doing, no one else does.
And from the athlete perspective, the way in which your gains progress.
Yeah.
Like if I have access to all this different programming, I just do whatever I can do. I'm not going to yield the same results as if I go to a gym who has a structured program that's geared towards a certain strength or bias or whatever.
For you guys.
For me, for my gym culture, or for me as an individual. I mean, I might get more fit or I might get more stronger, but the overall results over a long period of time are not going to be the same as someone who's underneath that umbrella of coaching.
Well, plus the thing is too, this is your baby,
You're right.
and you've worked hard. You put in a lot of studying, getting knowledge, and doing it, and you don't want to just share it.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't, and so in the community, people have talked smack about us not posting it and make up these false assumptions. We don't tell, our members what we're doing because they won't show up because it's so hard, or we only do it for the elite athletes or whatever. and they don't know us. You know, and we got people 90 to 95% of our members scale every single day, and they've scaled every single day for years because they can't do.
I've never done a prescribed workout in this gym
because your prescription,
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right.
Well,
because people.
Well, but like the gym I go to, which I'll plug it. It's CrossFit One Valley.
Yeah,
No problem with that.
but
What's
what-
up, people?
Yeah, what
Because
up?
Some of your guys listen to us.
They
Yeah.
do, Daniel.
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 Daniel's like, did you see the message? He's like,
Yeah.
let us know when Wally's on. I'm so excited. Blah blah blah. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude. I'm definitely excited to have him. And actually, I told Wally you're going to push this episode to Tuesday, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yep.
If you didn't know now. But you know what? Talking to Chase there, he's like, well, you program for the elite athlete,
Mhm.
and then you scale down from there. And in our gym, I mean, we have like he's an elite. I mean, he made regionals a couple years ago.
Mhm.
It's amazing. And just watching him is amazing. I'm like, how do you move that fast, or how do you do any of that? You know, like what takes him 4 minutes takes me 15.
Mhm.
But you know, that's the way he said. That's the way you do it. You know, you scale up here, or you program up and scale down. And there's a lot of things that I scale,
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
and I have no problem with it.
And then going back to the releasing your program, I feel culturally that more and more gyms are not posting their programming, not like it was back in the day. And I don't know why that is, but
because they're buying it. Everybody has access to it, Mo, because they don't do their own. I mean, well, you're going to repost comp trains,
Yeah.
or you're going to repost misfits, or, I mean, that's. Hey, look at me! I'm doing what you did 3 weeks ago because I'm 3 weeks behind.
yeah,
Like,
because I never really realized that until we started talking a few years ago and started looking around and noticing that was becoming more of a trend. Because when I first started, you know, I didn't really have access to a gym for a period of time when I was in Texas, and I had to go and use programming from when I used to come here at Right Pat when they had an affiliate. And then just slowly, little by little, I joined an affiliate, and then went to go, I think it was on vacation or something. I went to go look for some stuff, and I was like, oh shit, there's nothing out there from anyone anymore.
yeah. Well, I'll get a call from someone dropping in or a message, and they're like, I'll hit them back, and they're coming from out of town, and they're like, well, what's the WOD? And I'm like, what's it matter? Like, you want to work out or not? Like
Yeah.
that, we're going to work out.
We have a strength and a workout.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I just want to make sure I'm able to do it. I was like, we'll modify it if needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not being a dick, but like, if you want to come here and you're already trying to cherry pick what the hell we're doing, you're not going to like what we're doing already because you're going to hate it.
Mhm.
But I hate that mentality. Like, you message me, you're not going to pay a damn thing. You want to work out, well, we're going to work out. Like, what does it matter?
Yeah, and for me, when I'm traveling and looking to drop in, I honestly just look to see who responds.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
Mo just wants someone to talk
I
to.
just
guys.
want somebody to talk to and tell them about tell them about the show.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
what's
but
the
really,
podcast?
I mean, that's one of the. I don't give a shit about what the programming is. I just want to know, like, are you going to respond to me and take care of me as a customer, a traveling customer,
Right.
And are you going to provide me with a good experience? I can give a shit less if I can do your programming RX or not.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's
just-
like when I'm somewhere, I try to drop in like on a Friday night while they're still having class or somewhere around there, and you know it is kind of a bad thing when you've just done a ton of pull-ups the day before and then they have the same
Pull-ups
thing
again,
program.
yeah.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
But you scale it.
Yeah,
mean,
I
and
can
it's all right.
understand that. We had a guy actually come in. He's like, man, we had some. It was like, I think we ended at like 205 thrusters, and
I would have ended way before that.
anyways, yeah. He's like, he's just on the struggle bus, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, well, I just squatted for the last 3 days at our home gym. They had like a front squat, then had a back squat workout, and then we hit a thruster workout here, and their legs are shot. And I was
Yeah.
like, why do you say something? Like, I mean, I could tell something's wrong, but it's just funny. He's like, yeah, they can do it, but I appreciated that because they still came in, they still did the workout.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's still a workout.
You know what I mean? And then he easily could say, hey, I've squatted the last 3 days. Can I do something different? Because I can't feel my legs.
Yeah.
But like, he didn't care. And I thought that was pretty cool.
So-
It's mentality.
Yeah. So, going back to drop-ins, that's something we've talked about on some of our episodes. Are there any particular things you look for when you're dropping in? Because you travel a lot.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, following the competition circuit and even going to regionals.
Well, we
and,
actually
you
had
know,
someone wanted us to do a podcast on
on
drop-
visiting other gyms. Yeah.
visiting other gyms. So yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, it's. I just show up.
Mhm.
I won't even message him.
Okay.
I'm just like, what are your hours? All right, I'm gonna drop in there. And if it's somebody that's putting on the competition, I'll say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come early on Friday.
Mhm.
When is your last class? But I just show up normally and just, hey, I'm here in town. I'm gonna work out. And
What's your experience?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, like, because we have some people who say they've had the worst experience that they could ever have in CrossFit,
Mhm.
and they're very upset.
Yeah.
To where it's been one of the greatest experiences of CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you walk into some places and they're not super friendly. I'm used to, of course, doing what I do. I'm like, hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Da-da-da.
You don't know any strangers.
I don't.
Yeah.
And so to me, and I don't really walk in any place having expectations because I'm a scaled athlete at best. So I'm like, I'll just do the workout. I mean, I'm there for the workout, and I don't really, I guess judge it from that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some that are way better than others. Some are more welcoming, some not. But to me, that's you run into the ones that are welcoming are the ones that really want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
they really want to make it. Some that some are just there for the business part,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell.
Yeah, I think you can. It's like oil and water, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, you're making money, but your culture sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get going here, we have to subject you to a test,
Uh-oh.
and we call this 3 rounds for time. I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Can I scale it?
Yes. I guess. Yeah. I guess you can scale it, right, bro?
What's the modification, Mo?
I don't know. Jen will come up with alternate questions. That'll be the scale.
No, that could be dangerous.
So I'm just going to ask you 3 questions, and then you do your best to fire back as fast as possible with your answer, scaled or RX.
All right.
All right. First question: what keeps you up at night? What are some fears or concerns that you have?
Failing.
Mhm.
Nothing really keeps me up at night. I sleep like a baby because I'm working so hard every day. But
Do you stay up late?
no.
Oh,
So
No.
we need
military-
to work on that
Here's the bad thing is I used to make fun of my grandfather
for
because
going to bed
He
early.
went to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock
Uh-huh.
every night, and I climbed in bed at 8:30 some nights. And I'm like, no, I'm a grandfather, and I'm nowhere near as old as he was. So, but no, failing. Design sometimes keeps me up. Like I'll wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, reach over, grab my phone.
Next
write something
question:
down.
what is something you want to be remembered for when you're gone?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I
It's
don't know.
usually the
I
one
would
that gets
say-
people.
I mean, I would say like first, I'm a husband and a father, so
Mhm.
that would be first. Other than that, I mean, is really anybody going to remember me in 100 years? Unless I am president or something like that.
That don't even mean shit because I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I couldn't
I mean,
name
I
every
need to
president.
I need to discover the cure for something. Of course, you're probably not going to remember. Nobody's going to remember that either.
Because there'll be
There's a
something new.
cure.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. It sucks. You're here, then
Maybe invent the next B-52.
There you
on a
go.
napkin.
I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, there you go. What is something you would change in the world?
Ooh. Everybody getting so butthurt over everything.
ugh.
Yeah.
Who
I
else
mean,
said that? Did someone
Aaron
say
said something similar to
Yeah.
that. And because we are the One More Rep podcast, we have one extra question for you.
Mhm.
What is a superpower or a special talent that you have that no one knows about?
The ability to drink during a workout.
That is pretty talented.
That's pretty impressive.
That's freaking tough, dude.
I will say, like we put on a Friday Night Lights thing for the Open last year, and it was up in the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee, and so Friday night I would drink before the workout, during the workout, after the workout. I had a DD, of course. So I would do it drinking there, and then come Monday at the gym, everybody could retest your open workout. So I would retest it sober.
Mo, you know I love numbers. That's great.
That's great analytics
Yeah,
right there.
The analytics on that has to be phenomenal.
There's not a lot of difference for me.
Dang.
Sometimes I was
perform.
better drinking.
All right, as we wrap up here, how can our listeners find you on social media?
Social media, there is 75 Clothing or at 75 Clothing on Instagram. Of course, 75 Clothing on Facebook.
7 FIVE.
Yes, the number 7, then FIVE. It always gets everybody stumbling because, of course, we did it a little bit different because it gets noticed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the website.
The website is 75clothing.com.
And again, if you use our promo code one more rep, 3 separate words, you will get free shipping. And right now, you currently have that promotion going where if you submit to the email list, you get, what, 10% off?
You get 15% on your first order.
So
But
we
now
actually have people ask, do they get both?
That's the bad thing about where our website is. We can only do one discount at a time.
Okay.
Not that people, I mean.
One is better than none.
Well, and here's the
No.
thing. What's better, and this is our question we always go back and forth with, is free shipping better?
Or 15%.
Or 15%.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's free shipping because shipping always costs a little bit more.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Facebook and iTunes. And for this week's call to action, for all of you that have already purchased some 75 gear, send us pictures and tag us and tag Wally, repping at your box or just wearing your gear wherever you're out and about.
And if you want my personal Instagram, which is not very good.
Is it you shooting guns all the time like Castro?
No. It's usually my dogs. But it's Beard Squatch 13.
Beard Squatch 13. There you go.
That's a sweet name, man.
That is pretty dope.
That's right up there with Brocephus. So what, let me, Mo,
Yeah.
Mo ain't going to ask me, but I'm going to go ahead and go
Right.
anyways.
Yeah.
How long we at? See, I can't see. Usually I can see the monitor.
We're like
Oh, yeah.
Right, an hour.
Yeah, so I usually, when it starts creeping about 54 minutes, I know Mo's like,
You get
he's,
the eyes.
he's like, bro, we got to go. You're adding on so much time. What do you think of our podcast? I'm serious.
I like it.
Okay,
I mean, I really do.
Fuck,
It's,
tell us the truth. Like,
yeah, no, it's the rep shaving one
Yeah.
is the one because I've seen it.
Okay.
So that was interesting to me. Of course, in nutrition, and what it kind of got me thinking about the nutrition part. So I got with the girl that does nutrition at our gym.
Awesome.
Started doing it. Lost about 15 pounds in,
Holy
in
smokes.
3 weeks.
Damn, dude.
Start sitting down when it's like sweatshirt weather.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that when coming
Mo,
in.
what do you think about the podcast?
I do listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yep.
And
You did prior to.
Well, prior to me coming on the DJ show and prior to us starting this show. And I've been guests on a bunch of a different show, a lot of them mostly DJ related. But the thing I like about our show is it doesn't sound forced. Some of the other shows I listen to in the fitness world, it's just like they're reading questions and getting answers.
Yeah.
There's no
Back and forth.
no interaction.
There's
not a lot of tangents.
Yes, that's what I was going
Yeah.
to say. Not a lot of off-the-topic tangents.
Yeah.
That's Mo's fault, guys. People know. You've been busted. People know. They say, I know when Mo's trying to get you.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I was like, no, when he's like,
Yeah.
back on topic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I try and be objective about it and listen to our show as a listener versus a producer and a host, that's what I think, for me personally, separates us from other shows. Is it's just like people have given us feedback. It sounds like they're just listening to us chilling after getting done with a workout.
Because that's what the hell we're doing.
Yeah,
Literally.
and that's how this all started. Us just chilling and just talking.
Well, that makes the best. I mean, some of that I've listened to, it's just like some of the military ones I've listened to, and they're just BSing,
Yeah.
and it's just this goes to this rabbit hole and down this, and it's just like,
Sorry.
it's interesting.
Yeah, and for me, the best compliments that we get in terms of feedback are when listeners say that they feel like they're in the room with us. I mean, to me, that's the best possible feedback you can get. That's the best compliment.
Well, it's
for
almost
me.
like you get to know you through the podcast, and it's kind of like hey, I know them, even though you don't know them.
Yeah.
Although I do.
And between the two shows, it's sometimes it's challenging for me to remember that these people listen to me and Bro and the other guys on my show on a routine basis, so you automatically feel like an association with us.
Yeah.
So sometimes people just come up and start talking to me, and I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
hi,
Yeah.
oh, you're a listener, okay." Just
Well,
trying to
yeah.
figure out like
Well,
how do I,
Yeah, and I'll run into that like at competitions
Yeah.
too. Like yesterday, hey, you're Wally. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me. Had no idea. No,
Yeah.
I think it's cool because I can still listen. Me and him were going back and forth the other day. The last 2 episodes, like, we're still laughing. Like, some of the stuff, like, I tell Mo I black out. I really don't realize what I say sometimes. And I'll be listening to it. I'm like, oh, my God, that's so crazy. Like, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
But I'll start cracking up, dude. I'll be in tears sometimes just because his damn laugh alone. But I could just listen an hour of Mo's laughing. Like,
I'll make an outtake session just with me cracking up and snorting. Someone said something about me snorting.
you did, dude.
I think it
when-
was Cody.
Yeah, when she sat down in the beanbag, she's like,
And as we get ready to close out, this episode is actually going to be airing on September 11th. For me, it was a Tuesday. It was my second day of training in an advanced course. And I remember coming into the base, and it was something that changed my life for the rest of my life. And hopefully it's something that never happens again. I've lost some friends. I'm sure you may have too.
I know it's got like a chill. Let me
Yeah,
do that.
and just everybody take a moment to remember all those that have made sacrifices ever since that day. And we're Red on Friday. It really means a lot. So that brings this week's episode to a close. I'm Mo, and I'm out.
yep. See you guys.
Yep. See ya.
Man. Go from laughing to want to fucking kill ISIS. Like,
Thank you for listening to the One More Rep podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at One More Rep Podcast, or on Twitter at Can I Get One More, or shoot us an email at canigetonemore@gmail.com.
An eagle.
because I guess if we're going to talk about this is business CrossFit related, as a podcast, we're like we started out fitness for everyone. Like this is about going to be Olympic
Just fitness in
weightlifting.
general, yeah.
Then we found CrossFit is typically, I mean, of course, we're going to kind of
Gravitate towards
right,
that because that's where we live. Yeah.
And weightlifting. And so I guess it's how do you, as a podcast, how do we put enough out there, I guess, without pissing so many people off? We only have one genre, right? Just with your T-shirts. If
Right.
you go one way too hard, if you go super patriotic, you're going to piss off all the
All the
yeah.
not so.
Mo gave me a look. Mo was like,
I saw it
"Don't
coming.
say it."
I saw it coming.
Don't say it. And you guys seen it if I can get this fucking edited. And Wally's like, yes, get him.
I was like,
no.
oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Man, I had
It's
so
like
many.
watching a tennis match.
It was. Yeah. Anyways, if you go too far,
The more easily offended
Yeah.
demographic. Yeah.
yeah. That's. What do you say? How would I say?
That you're
Efficient
efficient.
in my communication.
Yes, efficient in
yeah.
your communications.
So,
That's all this EPR writing.
Oh yeah.
but yeah. Well, if I'm modified, I'm not progressing. Dance break. You hear it?
I can hear it through there.
What the hell is that, Mo?
No, I didn't turn off the
It's an alarm.
the feed.
And dance party.
That's him telling you it's time.
Huh?
I think that's him telling you it's time.
No, his eyes tell me that. He don't need music. Yeah.
See it in his eye.
No.